In the beginning, before cities, before nations, before war, before history itself, there was a garden, no pain, no shame, no fear, no death, just perfection. Tonight, we go back to the very first humans, the first love story, the first temptation, and the first fall. This is the full story of Adam and Eve. Before Adam and Eve, there was nothing. Darkness covered the deep. Then God spoke. Let there be light, and light exploded into existence. Day after day, God created the heavens, the earth, the oceans, the stars, the sun and moon, trees and plants, birds in the sky, fish in the sea, animals on the land. And after each creation, God said something powerful. It is good, but on the sixth day, something different happened. God said, let us make man in our image, not like the animals, not like the birds, not like the fish, in his image. God formed man from the dust of the ground. Imagine that moment. The creator of the universe, kneeling down, shaping dust with divine hands. Then God breathed into him, and that dust became alive. That man was named Adam. Adam opened his eyes in paradise. He stood in the Garden of Eden, a place overflowing with beauty. Crystal rivers, fruit-filled trees, perfect climate, peaceful animals. There was no fear, no death, no struggle. God gave Adam authority to rule over the earth. Adam named every animal: lion, elephant, eagle. But after all the animals passed before him, something became clear. Adam was alone. God said, it is not good for man to be alone. For the first time in creation, something was not good. So God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. And from Adam's rib, God formed a woman. When Adam woke up and saw her, he said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She was called woman, later named Eve. This was the first marriage, the first relationship. Adam and Eve lived in perfect unity with each other and with God. They were naked and felt no shame. Imagine that. No insecurity, no comparison, no guilt, just innocence. And God gave them only one command. God said, you may eat from every tree in the garden, but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you must not eat. For when you eat of it, you will surely die. One rule. Out of thousands of trees, only one was forbidden. Why? Because love requires choice. Without choice, obedience means nothing. And that tree represented freedom. One day, a serpent approached Eve. This serpent was not ordinary. Behind it was Satan, the fallen angel who rebelled against God. The serpent asked, did God really say you must not eat from any tree? Notice the strategy. First, question God's word. Then, twist it. Eve replied, we may eat from every tree except one. If we eat it or touch it, we will die. Then the serpent said, you will not surely die. God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God. There it was, doubt, desire, deception. Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful, desirable, tempting, and she took it. She ate, then she gave some to Adam. And he ate too. In that moment, everything changed. Suddenly, their eyes were opened. But not in the way they expected. They realized they were naked. Shame entered. For the first time, they felt exposed. They sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. Then they heard something familiar, God walking in the garden. But instead of running toward him, they hid. God called out, Adam, where are you? Not because God didn't know, but because Adam was lost. Adam replied, I heard you, and I was afraid. Afraid. That word had never existed before. Sin had entered the world. God confronted them. Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent, and the consequences followed. To the serpent, you will crawl on your belly. To Eve, pain in childbirth. To Adam, The ground will resist you, work will be hard, sweat and struggle will define life. And then came the heaviest sentence, for dust you are, and to dust you will return. Death entered humanity. The world was no longer perfect, but even in judgment, God showed mercy. He made garments of skin to clothe them. An animal had to die to cover their shame. The first sacrifice, a foreshadowing of redemption. God sent Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden, not out of cruelty, but to prevent them from eating from the tree of life and living forever in a fallen state. Angels guarded the entrance. Paradise was lost. Human history began outside the garden. Pain, war, jealousy, struggle, all traced back to that one choice. But here's what many people miss. Even in the curse, God made a promise. He told the serpent that one day the seed of the woman would crush his head. That was the first prophecy of redemption. The story of Adam and Eve is not just about failure. It's about free will, it's about consequences. It's about love, and it's about hope. Because even when humanity fell, God already had a plan to restore it. We are all children of Adam and Eve. We all face temptation. We all fall short. But the story reminds us, one choice can change everything. And even in our worst mistake, grace still finds a way. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And remember, the beginning of humanity started in a garden, but the story of redemption is still being written